All right, guys, would help find the microphone plugged in. Good morning, guys. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Good to be back on. Goldie's not ripped 1,000 ticks this morning, which is nice. Gold's creating a bit of a range, so could be in for some nice gold trades here this morning. Let's have a look, see what we got. Who we got in here? Good morning, everyone. Zoom guys, YouTube guys, welcome back, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Gold, gold with the absolutely crazy push yesterday. Phenomenal run yesterday on gold. Let's get that light on. There we go. So yeah, personally, I didn't trade gold yesterday, guys. I didn't trade gold at all yesterday, which was the first of it in a while. But after that crazy push we saw on gold, I was like, you know what? It doesn't really make too much sense for me to try and trade this here today. So personally, I didn't take any trades on any of my XFAs yesterday, guys. So no trades for me just yet on the week. Audio and video good, awesome. Thank you, man. If any guys are new here, welcome. Welcome back. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. Been trading for the past 7 years, mainly focusing on gold futures here in the European session. So good to be back on with you guys. Hope everyone is having an amazing day so far. An amazing day yesterday in the markets. Did any of you guys trade gold yesterday? Anyone make money trading gold? Anyone lose a little bit yesterday trading gold? I was happy just to walk away from gold yesterday. You know, we saw that crazy push in the markets yesterday here on gold. Look at this, gold Asian session, crazy run. And remember, guys, in the London session, I said on gold, you'll very likely range for quite some time. Well, you ranged on gold from 7 a.m. all the way until, 11:30 London time. So you saved yourself a lot of unnecessary chart time sitting here watching this. And I said to you guys yesterday, you know, although it would be nice to have caught this move up here, I didn't get this move because I simply wasn't on the charts. It was outside of my session. What I won't do is start trading in here. And I said to you guys, you know, gold is very likely going to need at least 3 to 4 hours before we have the next move. Well, you ranged, like I say, from 6:30 all the way until 11:30, then finally broke out, pulled back, and continued pushing. So nice call yesterday to, more importantly, protect the capital and save your mental capital by not watching gold after you've ripped, 800 plus ticks. So not only, we'll look at what we got coming up today in a second, but not only will you range after a big move, you will massively drain your mental capital. Getting stuck in a position like this, it ends up being one of them trades where you know you really shouldn't be in that position anyway. And they're the trades where you start mentally beating yourself up and you're too mentally fatigued to take a good trade. Or, you do something stupid and you come onto the charts today, you're trying to chase back that stupid trade. Whereas for me, haven't taken a trade here so far this week, and I'm coming onto the charts today, fresh, flat, ready to go. So let's see what we got for the day. Gold hit 41.50, which is a great psychological level. We also spoke about this. We spoke about 41.50 yesterday. We spoke about 41.50 in our Asian market, you guys on Zoom. And we also spoke about 41.50 last week as well. So next key level above, 4,200 here on gold. Took a $460 snipe, nice. 4 a.m. Australian time, couldn't sleep. Nice. Is that in the New York session? Where's our background music? There we go. So yeah, we'll see what we get for the day on gold. I don't see any reason why we can't get trades up here on gold. We have had this incredible push up. Now, why is my chart looking like this? It'll be GCZ25. Why is my chart looking like this? All right, well, let's just look at this one for now. So obviously we know yesterday closed very bullish. Very bullish yesterday, guys. And today has opened and hit instant resistance, which is kind of giving gold a little bit of a pullback. 41.50 is a very big level. Now, I do believe we're going to see gold spike higher, back up into about 75-ish. However, 41.50 is still a pretty decent level of resistance. I'm just gonna have a quick look to see if we have any news today. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Have any news today? Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Tuesday, we had some pound news come out about an hour ago. We have a French bank holiday today, and we have a Canadian bank holiday, and oh yeah, we have a US bank holiday. Stock markets and banks have slightly different holiday schedules. What is the bank holiday today? Veterans Day. There's a bank holiday in the US for Veterans Day today, but I don't think that should stop the markets moving in any way. Other than that, there's nothing really too much on the calendar today. Let me just turn this music down a little bit here. Cool. So nothing too much on the calendar today. Obviously, we have gold, like I say, hitting this big resistance. You've had this crazy run up yesterday with no real significant pullbacks at all. This was my next liquidity target all the way back up here. 41.75 looks like a great target today. Previous 4 hour wicked out highs, held 41.50, already having initial reaction off that, which is kind of nice. But to be honest, I think we could find gold to potentially see some support here. If we grab some hourly lows here, we got London open about 17 minutes. If we grab some lows here, I think we could see gold come for a bit of a pullback higher before having a deeper retracement. You know, if we look at this on gold, to me it looks like we could find some support, maybe grab some hourly highs before then either selling off or, you know, you continue to push higher. So to me, gold is at a pretty decent level of support. Now you haven't grabbed these lows here. Let me just make sure you have it on the currency. Which make sure if you grab these lows in the currency, there's a potential 30-minute morning star shaping up. But let me just have a quick look to make sure. I don't believe you have. No, you haven't. Yeah, cool. So you haven't grabbed the lows in the currency. So we may see gold wick out a little bit more. But this is a nice support level here on gold, where if we grab some lows and hold the support, we could look for a bit of a pullback here. You know, maybe back up into these highs about an 80 tick range. If this 30-minute flips bullish, there is also the possibility to take it from there. Break these highs and you could see a long before you maybe grab them lows later on. Look at NQ. Yep, we'll look at all markets. We'll look at NQ, we'll look at ES. Just kind of trying to see what gold's going to do here, if we're going to get any trades before this London Open. So let me get rid of this for a second. So you're grabbing previous hourly lows. Started to wick back above already. Look at this, grabbing some lows here. There may be a potential buy stop here on gold. What are you looking at? About 50 tick stop. So trade about 5 micros. See if you can get this up for about a 60 tick push. Just over a 1-to-1 potential here. Yeah, currency didn't grab the full lows. But you are grabbing some nice lows here and holding the support. So if you can re-break high, it could be nice. If you can't, then cool. You'll probably come down and grab the lows a little bit more. Yeah, we can look at NQ. I did trade NQ yesterday. I traded NQ over gold yesterday, which is surprising. But yeah, I did take a NQ trade yesterday. Not on funded accounts though. We saw a very nice run up yesterday on NQ. I took these longs here at the New York Open because you kind of see you had a bit of a trend line coming down. You never really grabbed any highs, so took longs here at NQ once the 50-minute grab lows held support. Took this nice push up. Bought gold back up into I think it was about the 600-ish level. Just took gold NQ. A little bit of this. Let me just have a look here. 15 is trying to flip here. So let me get rid of let's get rid of these levels here. Let's do some fresh analysis here at NQ. We'll come back to gold in a second. You know, gold does have that potential flip level from here, but to be honest, I would rather see it grab the low. So I'm not gonna jump in that 30-minute flip. I'll probably wait till it actually closes. But there is a potential buy stop here on gold. You'd have to risk off the liquidity level, which is there. NQ, let's have a look. How did we close yesterday? So we closed very bullish yesterday. You can see here on Friday came down, tagged lows, held support massively, and had a huge push higher. Now, Where could we pull back? Still, I think you're going to see NQ continue pushing up. You could see NQ come back up for these highs here, around 25,900. We could be seeing a nice long here in NQ. Finding some resistance at 25,750. Look how well these levels get respected, guys. These are the same levels that we keep on our charts every single day. You break above 25,500, you come down, you test it. Where do you come to next? 25,750. So if we break above 25,750, where could we come to next? 26,000. Same as all these levels. Look, you break above 25,250, straight to the next level, straight to the next level. Could be coming straight for the next level. Is there possibility for NQ to pull back before seeing that leg higher? Yes, I would say so. You have some very nice double top levels around here on NQ as well. You've had this pretty much ranged for majority of Asian session. Bit of a sell-off here at 4 AM London time, trying to find some support. So pretty similar to gold. I would be seeing if NQ could maybe come down and retest these levels here around what, 25,640-ish. Maybe wick out some lows, hold some support, and then I'd be looking to squeeze this higher as well, kind of similar to gold. I wouldn't be buying it just yet. You know, you have just printed a bit of a evening star play here. You close bullish, grab the highs, close bearish, continue selling off. So you could wick down a little bit more here on NQ, but I'd be looking for NQ to find some support before going higher. Yeah, currency chart just grabs highs and lows more. Sometimes currency chart will grab liquidity. Futures doesn't always need to. If the currency grabs the lows, then the futures doesn't always need to. So sometimes the futures could leave a pretty perfect double bottom, and the currency could grab it. No, I wouldn't short that evening star on NQ, no. You're shorting right at the support after a bullish hourly candle closure. If you were able to get short up here for some reason on lower time frame back at resistance, definitely, but I wouldn't sell support, no. Just because it was an evening star doesn't mean we should have been in it. I wouldn't have shorted that. But if we start to grab some lows and find some support, then that could actually be a nice buy opportunity. Let's see here. We could be seeing some potential longs on Goldie. Would you have taken the hourly fake out on Asia when we hit the 4-hour resistance on gold? Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. Hourly fake out. This one. If you meant this one, it was pretty nice in hindsight. The only thing is with shorting gold is you're shorting against the fact that it has been so bullish. But I mean, from a technical perspective, it was pretty nice. You tag the highs, you close back below 41.50. So if you were looking to short that 5 AM candle, yeah, it would have been pretty nice. I would take it at definitely reduced risk because gold has been so bullish. But yeah, I could see a reason why you'd want to sell that. Same as here, you know, here you tag the highs, you closed bearish, then you short this candle. Pretty much the exact same setup here. This one was nicer because it was a much steeper wick and a stronger bearish candle closure. And then you had that nice sell-off, which, what would that have given you yesterday? It would have given you about, what, 160 tick sell-off. Here, pre-London, would have given you about 170. Would you consider the second trade after New York opened yesterday at 68.09 a better trade? A better trade? 68.09 for what market? Sorry. $68.09. Not too sure. Not too sure what you're looking at, man. I don't really see a better trade than the one I took yesterday. I see other opportunities to have bought NQ here, like for instance here was a nice opportunity to buy NQ again because you're bouncing off 25,500. You're overall bullish, so maybe you could have taken this play up. I still think this play was nicer. This play was nicer because you had much more clear targets. Whereas opposed to this play from down here, you know, you're buying against this huge sell-off. So if you mean this one, ES. I mean, I don't trade ES, but let's have a look. 6809. No, I don't see that as a better trade at all. No, it's another opportunity. It's not a better trade. No, you're buying against this huge sell-off here. Same as you could just show it on NQ. It's the exact same thing, but no, to me this buy here was nicer than New York Open because you're buying into clear targets and you're following that bullish daily bias. Whereas at this point, you know, you've just sold off like 200 points to then buy after that. Don't get me wrong, it was still a good opportunity, but do I think it was nicer than what I took here? No, personally not. And again, I was having a good week so far. Hey Clays, what's good up, man? Good to see you back. Nice. Goldie's coming for the lows here, guys. So if we start grabbing these lows on gold and finding support, this could be nice. So any early buys here getting squeezed out on gold, this is nice. If we start to wick back above, fantastic. Look at that. He held that VWAP, wicked out some highs, squeezing lower. Yeah, I mean, that's, if you've watched the videos, man, that's something that's in the videos. There's a whole video dedicated to that, so I mean, I answer it pretty well. Yeah, daily biases are very important. That's why there's a whole video dedicated to it. Yeah, daily bias is very, very, very important. All the videos are important. If it's in the videos, it's very important. But yeah, you have to understand what the dailies do in order for you to jump down to low time range trade. Absolutely. I check the first thing I do when I jump on the charts, like the way you guys see me break it down here is the exact same way you guys should be breaking down. You know, we look at how did yesterday close. Okay, cool. Close very bullish. Okay, cool. Now we start dropping down and painting the picture. Absolutely. Daily bias is very important for intraday trading. It saves you getting caught up in a lot of ranges and a lot of bad trades. If gold starts to break out here, guys, I could see some nice longs. Could see some nice longs here on Goldie. It's a little bit of a tight range, but you know, anyone who is maybe buying here stops down just below this low, they've just been stopped out. So if you can get some bullish volume, we could see gold coming back up into these levels up here, back up into 41, 44, which is a pretty decent range, 70 tick range. And if not, you know, who says gold can't just come up and create a whole nother leg high, you know? And that's the smarter trade right now. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. God, are we on the XFA? Yeah, nice. We're on the XFA today. So I'll look at around the flip of the 15 maybe. Potential longs on gold around that 37 level. Opinion on natural gas. No, you don't trade it. See a possible for rebound north on the daily. I'm not too sure what that is, but we can have a look. Let me just see if gold's going to shape up here, man. We can have a look. We've got time. Let's have a look. I've traded natural gas a long time ago, but I find it very, very hard to read. It can also range for quite some time. A possible for rebound north. I don't know what that is, so I can't really say on that. But it looks like you've had a pretty decent breakout. I haven't quite come down to retest this level, so if I was looking at this on daily, I'd say you'd probably maybe come down and test this breakout level. I don't trade natural gas ever, to be honest, so I don't know how it moves on an intraday perspective, but on a higher time frame, super simple. You know, you've had a huge breakout. You haven't really retraced much of this upside move, so you could easily come down and pull back some of this before potentially going higher. You can see you got a bit of a left shoulder. There's your head. There's your right shoulder. So you could see this sell off a bit. But like I said, I don't trade it, so take my analysis with a pinch of salt. But it could pull back. If I was looking at the same way we look at gold, yeah, I would be looking for it to have a bit of a pullback. So gold here came down, grabbed lows, trying to get back above here. Look at this range though. Let's see if we can just get a bit of bullish volume here. Is gold good for the London session in terms of volatility? Yeah, absolutely. Gold gives great moves in the London session. Gold gives great moves in Asia, London, and New York. Gold, that's the reason I love gold so much, because you can literally trade gold in whichever session that suits your lifestyle best. If you can only trade Asia, great, trade gold. If you can only trade London, great, trade gold. If you can only trade New York, then you can still trade gold. Gold moves very well in all of them. A lot of the London moves recently have either been pre-London or 10 a.m.-ish. But in terms of the London session as a whole, yeah, absolutely, you can get great trades. Great trades. So you've just come down and grabbed the lows here, guys. Closed bullish. If there's a bit of a bottom wick, it would have been nice to buy, but you've just opened and pushed. So we'll see if we can break out here and get these longs. We do also have this hourly close coming in 3 minutes as well. Which, if this hourly closes like this, we could see the next hour come down for a bit of a bottom wick anyway. Before then, we see that long. So this is looking nice here on gold. This is looking really nice. I like this hourly close. A 4 hour also just tagged previous 4 hour lows. Previous 4 hour was pretty bearish, but we don't want to talk ourselves out of the trade. I still think it's worth a shot. This is a very decent support level. Very decent support level. So we want to see nice bottom wick on this next hourly to take longs. To come pull back up into some nice resistance levels back up here. Play this potential London range shaping up here. Would I trade micros on 150? With how big the ranges have been on gold, yeah, I would personally. It also depends on my buffer, my stops, how many payouts I've had. If it's a brand new 150. Yeah, of course, the biggest thing is it depends on the stops. You know, if you can get in with a 50 tick stop, then, you know, you might be able to trade 1 micro. If you want to risk 500, if you want to risk less, then yeah, 1 mini. But if you want to risk less, then yeah, you could trade micros. The thing is, you can get great trades on gold trading micros. You know, this is almost a 200 tick move up. Like, trading that at micros, you can get great profits. Micros is more than enough. More than enough. But it depends on how big your stops are. Silver's looking nice. Silver looking nicer than gold. Let's see. Silver has been looking nicer than gold sometimes recently. Let's have a look. A little bit more bearish, to be honest. You've had a pretty decent sell-off here. But yeah, I can still see silver coming for a bit of a pullback. Tagging the lows, holding support. Looks pretty similar to me. Looks pretty similar. Looks pretty similar. Let's see. Hourly close and London Open coming in about 1 minute here, guys. 1 minute. Aaron, I'm struggling on my 50k XFA. First day was red, $300. Please tips. I mean, if you took a trade and you lost $300, well, I'm assuming you took the trade because it fit your plan. If it fit your plan, then minus $300 shouldn't affect you. If you're questioning everything after losing $300, then you're trading way too big of size, and you're probably not trading a plan. And if you're not trading a plan, you're trading too big of size, well, build a consistently profitable trading plan that you have proven to yourself works, and trade smaller size. That's why I say to you guys, like, there's no right or wrong answer as to how much you should risk per trade. But if $300 is too much risk for you to lose and it completely sends you off the rails, then just trade smaller size. But losing $300 is just a trade. It's just another trade. But if you question yourself every time you lose money, then you need to make sure you're actually trading a plan that you've proven to yourself actually works. All right, let's have a look here, guys. So hourly close here on gold. You have wicked out the lows. You closed pretty doji for the past 2 hours. Now, I would still like to take an attempt at these longs, but I would like a little bit of a pullback here on gold. It's not the cleanest of ranges by any means. 30 minutes still closed bearish. But to me, it might still be worth a shot at half risk. It's a pretty decent support level. You got a pretty valid stop. It's not the nicest of trades, so if I was going to take this, I would risk like maybe $100 to $150 max. Risking about 44 ticks. Let me just see if you can break out a little bit here. Yeah, that's good support, Sean. But yes, losing $300 shouldn't make you question everything. If losing $300 makes you question everything, yeah, you need to, like I say, make sure you're trading consistently before you start trying to make lots of money. You know, you should be risking on a 50k, like, you know, 150 is more than enough. You get $1 to $300, you get 1 to 2 to 3 times a week. That's more than enough. More than enough. Yeah, that does look quite nice. Let's see if you can. I'll take it for a little bit here. Let's just see. What are you risking? 126. $200. I'm only gonna risk $100. Euro longs. Yeah, we can look at the euro. Euro longs, yes, they were very nice. Euro longs, yes, they were very, very, very nice. Let me just change this to... is gold usually bounce / reject off levels? Want to start trading GC, but I haven't found guidance. Here's the guidance you've been looking for, man. Keep tuning into these live streams. You'll see the way I trade gold. Gold loves the liquidity grabs. Nice, Tim. Where did you get in from, man? Nice. 2 hours ago, cool. It's a good level, man. Mm, 2 hours ago. No, I don't think. Oh, there's a nice bounce there on gold. There's a nice bounce. So you're just wicking out previous highs there. There's that squeeze. So anyone shorting gold here, getting pretty squeezed out here. I'll be looking to see if you can tag 44s, if not higher here. That was a pretty decent squeeze. Any early sellers that are getting squeezed out. What do we do here on gold? Came down, tagged the lows, held support, and now we're pushing back higher. So look at that nice liquidity grab there on gold. Look at that nice little 5-minute look. I haven't had a nice 5-minute trade in a while. But you came down. Any early buyers here? What they do, they buy, sit the stops down below, they get stopped out. And now I'm trying to see if we can do the exact same thing, but it's the highest. People shorting here, risking off this high here, trying to see if they can get squeezed out. So let's see if you can actually break this range now. That was nice, nice little quick squeeze there on gold. What do we hit? Quick 30 to 40 ticks. So see if we want us up to 70, potentially 100. Is it too early? Which on London time did you get in, Tim? Which time London time, man? I can have a look. But it could have been, but I can have a look and tell you why, man. 5:45-ish. Fine. So you got long 5:45. So around here. So you got long around 5:45. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to be buying after you see this hourly close bearish. If you see this hourly close bearish, you'll probably tag the lows before pushing. So personally, it was a little bit too early. But I mean, your direction was right, so which is the correct thing. But yeah, I would say it's probably a little bit too early. You know, if gold's going to have that push up, it will find some support, bounce, tag the lows, and then break out. Not a seasoned trader, but on the 50-minute, is that not head and shoulders playing out? Yes, that's kind of what I'm looking for, a potential pullback here. Head and shoulders is one of my favorite plays on gold. So you kind of got this left shoulder, head, and now coming up for that right shoulder to liquidate these highs. So anything above here, yeah, either we break back higher or this could be a potential reversal level. So that would be a level where I would manage the risk because, yeah, I can absolutely see that. But I want to expose myself to the fact that this is big support and gold has been very bullish yesterday. Very, very, very bullish. Look at yesterday's daily close. Ooh. Yeah, I can see that, definitely. I can see that for sure. That's what I was kind of buying into the fact that price needs to come up and potentially create a steeper right shoulder before selling off. So rather than waiting for the right shoulder to be created and then trying to go in short, well, if I can see price could potentially come up to create that right shoulder, well, I'd like to buy up into it. After the buffer is built, I get the payout. Can I change my buffer after that? Can it be different one at the second payout? I mean, the buffer is whatever you decide to leave in the account after you take the payout. At least 50%, right? So whatever you decide to build it up to, that's obviously completely depending on yourself. There's no like set amount that you have to leave, but you can only take out 50% at a time, so 50% buffer each time. But let's say if you built it up to 3,000, you might only want to take out 500 and give yourself a $2,500 buffer, for example. It's completely depending on how you want to do it. I don't really add to trades, to be honest, Glenn. Gold doesn't really push that well. If I start adding from here, I'm adding at resistance. It doesn't really make too much sense. I very rarely do it, to be honest. I prefer just have my single entry and that be it. I feel like if you try and add into gold, it can you can end up just averaging a pretty poor entry. It ends up hitting resistance and just ranging anyway. So yeah, but I don't really add to trades very rarely on gold. I also don't really trail on gold. I don't think gold's very good to trail either. Best time to trade gold from Australia? There's not really. There's no best time to trade any market. Just trade the session that opens well that you can jump on the charts, but also just like backtest it. People always ask me, what's the best time frame to trade gold? What's the best way to trade the strategy, or the best time frame to look at? It's like there's no best way to do anything. It's to put some work into doing some backtesting and see which results fit you the best. You could do some backtesting on gold and you could see, okay, this time in the Asian session, that works to this time in Australia. There's a lot of different time frames in Australia for me to answer that question. But I would say do some backtesting and see what works best for yourself. What time frame, what session and what time to trade gold in Australia depends on where are you in Australia, what time can you be on the charts, what time is it in terms of, is it Asia, is it London, is it New York? There's no best time to trade anything, but I say to you guys, put in the backtesting and build the data. To me, there's no best time to trade gold. You trade gold when gold's in the nicest of areas, which to me, I utilize alerts as much as you can. But there's no best for anything. It's just what time can you be on the charts and do some backtesting to see if the markets move during that time. How much buffer is significant trading only gold on a 50K? How do you mean significant, man? Like how much of a buffer would you want to build? Again, it's completely depending on your stats. How much do you risk per trade? How much do you lose per trade? There's a lot of things that go into it, but I personally give myself at least 2,000 to 3,000. In this XFA here, after I took a 3,000 payout last week, I still have 3,000 in here. But don't try and focus too much about building like the biggest of buffers. Focus on just trading well. You can't, unfortunately. Do it all on TradingView. I do believe Topstep are working on getting alerts, which would be awesome. Hopefully soon. But as of right now, yeah, I personally do all my alerts on TradingView. But if we do eventually get them here on Topstep, that'd be awesome. Which I do believe they'll be working towards. Let's see here, Goldie. Goldie kind of stalling around these highs, but still looking good here for me. I'm not really watching this 5 minute too much. I want to see this nice 15-minute close coming in here. If you look at this 5 minute and go, oh, you're tagging highs and closing bearish, should I exit this trade? Remember, zoom out. How's the 15 looking? Looking very bullish, bouncing off support. Don't worry too much about 5 minute price action. Yeah, all of mine are 100Ks, Tim, yeah. All of mine are hundreds, man. I have blown 13 XFAs in the last 4 months. Again, I have 5 XFAs of 50. How should I proceed? Copy trading or separate? I have a plan, 4 account copy trade and 1 high risk account. I mean, it's not really my place to tell you how you should proceed. I mean, more accounts and more money doesn't equal more profits. Inconsistency on a $100 account doesn't matter if you're trading 100. Oh, look at that pop there on gold. 72 ticks there, guys. Nice squeeze there on Goldie. Look at that. There's a nice squeeze. There's a nice squeeze there on Goldie. You know, if you're not making money trading on one account, you know, and I feel like if you answer that question, you probably know the answer. If you've blown 13 XFAs in the last 4 months, that's a lot of lost accounts. I wouldn't even be trading a single. I would maybe trade one. If you're not, like I say, if you're not making money on one XFA, I say to you guys, you know, copy trading 4 to 5 isn't going to solve any consistency issues. It's going to actually delay you even more because you're so focused on the P&L. If you're trading that many accounts and losing that many accounts, there's a high chance, now I don't know, but there's a high chance you're trading the P&L too much. You're trying to chase payouts or you're trying to hit a certain dollar amount. And like I say, you know, if you're not consistently making money on one account, having 5 accounts isn't going to solve any sort of consistency issues. So you need to build, more importantly, I wouldn't even worry about trading multiple XFAs. I'd worry about building a consistently profitable plan and having good risk management. Just my personal opinion. You know, zero to consistency is hard in trading, but then scaling is much easier. So just focus on getting consistent and then scale later. People are too focused on trying to scale as much as possible, as quick as possible. But if you're not scaling the right way, it's actually going to set you back even more. So don't focus too much about trying to scale so fast. Focus on consistency. So you got a decent pop there on gold, guys. You got the 50-minute close, first 50-minute London session coming in about 1 minute here. You have just hit our first liquidity level, which is very nice. So we're going to see how gold reacts around here. It's not a bad place to start managing the risk. To change your charts from dollars to ticks, because it's a good question, it's an important thing to do. Use these features as much as you can, guys. If you go into your settings, charts and data, you can change it here from dollar, ticks, percent, or points. For me, having it to ticks helps a lot. You know, although you can probably relate to how much it would be from a dollar perspective, I still think it's good to change it to ticks so you guys can, like I would say, you know, focus on the charts as much as possible. Don't focus on the dollar, don't focus on the ticks, just focus on the charts. So change it to ticks, hide your balance, and just focus on the price action. Nice. If you let me know when it does, Sean, that'd be great. And I have it open. If you can let me know when it does hit, that'd be great, man. Nice, nice bounce down gold. Had pretty much a zero drawdown in that position, which is quite nice. Thank you, man. Do you find a mindset change on passing evals to XFAs? Yeah, I don't really feel anything, to be honest. Which is, I actually did say that in my latest YouTube video, where not last week but the week before I made like 5,000 in one night and then 4,000 like another night, and I felt absolutely nothing. If you see my latest YouTube video, I spoke about that. But yeah, it's good, but it's kind of like sad at the same time. Like I, you know, make $4,000 and then close to like $10,000, and I just don't feel anything, which is, like I say, it's good because it means I can just trade the charts, but it's also a bit sad because like Like I want to see that and be like, oh, that's amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, it's great, but I don't see it and go, wow, that's incredible. It's just numbers on a screen, right? I'm gonna close one there. I closed one there at 73 ticks. I'm gonna leave that there. See if this one can run here. Just got one micro running here. Curious to know your view for someone who is relatively new in an XFA and stuck between daily targets and lockout after, or taking A+ setups throughout the day without watching the P&L. Daily targets, I never set targets in any of my trading. I don't think you should set targets in the markets. You take what the markets give you. You shouldn't be putting, any expectations to think that the markets owe you anything. So I would set your daily loss limits, absolutely. Targets, I wouldn't set. Again, if you're setting targets, then you're probably trying to focus too much on the P&L. Set your personal daily loss limits, absolutely. But don't set targets, because if you set targets, you end up holding on to winning trades for too long, longer than you should have. Yeah, I used to set myself targets. I was like, this week I'm gonna make 2%, and then I'd always put them expectations on myself and hold myself back for even longer. So yeah, don't set targets, and don't even don't sit there and watch the P&L. Just trade the charts. Focus on the charts. Focus on the charts. So gold coming into that potential reversal region there. So I just closed half, guys. I just closed half at this liquidity level. We had 0 drawdown. We were risking about 32-ish ticks, and we squeezed it out for about 70. So instant top wick on the 15 as well, tagging previous 15 highs. So it's a big reversal level. So that's the reason for closing half there. We could easily pull back from here and continue to range a little bit. So it's a nice, a very nice 70+ tick squeeze. We got about 75 ticks. To measure the amount of ticks, good question, man. So to measure the ticks, say if we're measuring gold from this support to these highs, that's 12.5 points, 125 ticks. At 1 mini, that's $1,250, $10 per tick here on gold. So when you're measuring the moves here on the measuring tool, that's the number I'm looking at here, 235. So that's all that trade really was, just range to range. Look at that, guys. So you came down, tagged the lows, grabbed that liquidity, and then where do we come to next? The next liquidity level. Where's that? Well, we said, remember, most people shorting here, risking off this high. So you've come out, you stopped out any early buyers, and now you've come out and stopped out any early sellers. Bye. Bye. So just playing, liquidity to liquidity here on gold. Very nice trade there. The reason I only took it for 2 micros is just because you're in this little bit of a range here. Oh, nice. Look at that. Just passed my 100K combine. Amazing. That's what we like to hear. Good job. I've been slacking on the X post, guys. I need to get back on the X post. I've had some great winning trades and some good losing trades that I haven't had an opportunity to post yet. But if you guys are on X, I've been slacking here. I haven't posted since the 5th. If you guys are on X, remember, if you tag at the Aaron Trades, hashtag London Open, at TopstepTV, I'll see you guys' charts as well. I'll try and post some more trades. I have a lot of trades to update on here, so I will try and post on here more as well. You go to the lower time frame once you have a high time frame confirmation. So the confirmation on this trade here was the hourly time frame. The hourly grabbed the lows, held support, so that's when you drop down to the low time frame. You only use the lower time frame to execute once the higher time frames paint the picture. So here this hourly came down, tagged the lows, held support. So cool. As soon as this hourly tagged lows and closing support and starting to bottom wick and close bullish, then I drop down to 5 minute and take my trade. Again, you don't even really need to drop down to the lower time frame. If you're dropping down to the lower time frame and over refining, then just trade the higher time frame. Get good at reading the higher time frame on gold. 30-minute and hourly, you can still be in and out of positions in the same day here on Topstep and still get great moves. You don't even need to watch the 5-minute, to be honest. Nice place. $500 on a fresh XFA, possibly the first winning trade on the first trade of an XFA. Normally the first one's a loser. Yeah, that's very true. I find that as well. Sometimes my first trade on XFA can be a losing trade, yeah. Not really, to be honest. I'm just kind of holding it just to see what happens, man. See if you come for a whole new break higher or not. No, I'm not really. Oh no, what have I done? Oh, what did I do there? Not too sure. No, I don't really do anything. I'm just kind of seeing where it goes. Only one micro here, so I kind of just want to see if you can come for a whole another leg higher, to be honest. I don't really have any upside or downside targets right now on gold, so I'm just kind of, yeah, holding it to see where we go. See where we go from here on gold. See where we go, Goldie. How do you set up ticks? On the settings here on TopstepX, charts and data, you can change it to ticks right here. Thanks, Aaron, off to work. Yeah, nice one, man. Nice one. Appreciate you tuning in. For re-entry, where's your targets for the re-entry? Let's go there. Can you re-enter in gold? Where would you be targeting if you're re-entering in gold? Didn't we just say that we've just grabbed both sides of the liquidity levels? So you just came down, tagged lows, you just sort of come up, tagged highs. So if you want to re-enter, where would you be entering and why? Just because you want price to continue pushing up, or you've just grabbed the highs and you've also just grabbed the lows, you're back into the middle of the range. So what was that there? Where do we get from? Somewhere around here. That. So we closed about half about 75-ish ticks, and then the rest was about 15-ish. So I took a small size, but still 70 plus ticks is 70 plus ticks. Let me just post it in here. It was a good little trade though. Zero drawn on that trade. How is Topstep different than Forex prop firms? Topstep is futures. Topstep is futures. Forex is Forex. In my unbiased opinion, I used to trade Forex. Foreign exchange, I hate the word Forex, but I used to trade foreign exchange currencies. I switched to futures and it was the best decision I've made. The best decision. I mean, even, I'm not going to say anything about other FX prop firms, but the process to get funded on FX prop firms as opposed to futures is, the process here on Topstep is way easier. On an FX side, you have to go through an arm and a leg just to get funded. You got to make like what, 15+% over 2 phases before you can even get funded. Well, you can get funded here on Topstep in literally 1 phase in a couple of days. But the main difference is, yeah, you're comparing foreign exchange CFDs to futures. And personally, to me, the platforms are also way better here. Like TopstepX, to me, is way better than any FX platform. Like MT4 is like trading in the 90s. It's so hard to use. Whereas here, I can execute here on TradingView charts, like you guys have seen. Short, again, if you were shorting, where are you shorting into? Where's your downside targets? If you just grab the lows, you just grab the highs, you're in the range. You guys are overthinking it too much. Trade it for what it is. It's in the middle of a range. You can think this is a grab to come for a leg lower. You can also think this is a grab to come for a leg higher. It doesn't really matter about too much what you think. right now we've tagged highs, we've tagged lows, we're in the middle of a range. You're overthinking it too much. Which could easily come from a potential FOMO perspective if you didn't get the 70 plus ticks. NQ, now NQ is still very bearish to me. NQ would have to see a pretty decent breakout to want to long. I think gold was the much nicer opportunity here, which is good. I think I think NQ's a little bit messy. I think gold's much nicer here. Much nicer. Where's my charts gone? Let's go. GC. NQ longs could shape up today, but I wouldn't. I would give NQ some time. Look at the hourly time frame on NQ. Is the hourly bullish or bearish right now? Well, the 7 a.m. candle here on NQ closed bearish, and this current candle is also pushing bearish. So you'd have to see a pretty decent fake out to want to trade NQ. No, I wouldn't have let it. I wouldn't have held it till it stopped me out. It would just be any closure back below potential support level here, maybe. Here, somewhere around there. If you close back below, that's a pretty good exit. You're in a bit of a tough range, so somewhere around there could have been a pretty good exit. You tag lows, close bullish, so yeah. If you reclose back below, anywhere in this area would have been a good place to close. So you know, if you buying here, you might have a hard stop there, but you'd be closing, yes, anywhere around there. Anywhere around there. I mean, even at a hard stop, you're risking like maybe 50 ticks, which was very good considering the big ranges we've been in. Yeah, 47 ticks. So even at hard stops, 47 ticks is also fine. How often do you still trade currencies on Topstep? I personally don't trade currencies at all anymore. You can though. You know, we still call some nice euro trades. But me personally, I don't trade currencies anymore. I think NQ gold is way nicer for me personally. So yeah, I don't trade currencies at all. But you can though. There's a good thing about trading here on Topstep is like, you know, even if you guys are coming from a foreign exchange background, you can still trade all of your currencies. You know, you can trade the euro. If you type in 6, look at all the currencies you can trade if you do want to. Australian dollar, the pound, Canadian dollar, the euro, the yen, Swiss franc. You can trade the Mexican peso if you really want to. New Zealand dollar, you know, you can trade the micros here as well. So you can still trade pretty much all currencies if you really want to. But for me personally, I moved to just trading gold anyway. So I was like, well, if I'm just going to trade gold anyway, it doesn't really make sense to trade on FX firms. An FX brokerage is where I'm going to deal with spreads and poor fills all the time. Whereas, you know, you guys still here had perfect execution here. I trade London or New York as well. I trade both. Depends on what London does. Like yesterday, London didn't really do much because you already had a huge move. So I was like, oh, watch the New York Open. I trade both sessions. I do think pre-New York is probably the best for gold. I do like pre-New York on gold. I'll also be on fast markets today, so we'll be trading gold in New York today. Why are you on blue and white versus green and red? No reason. I just like it. I just feel like it looks nicer. I used to have it because I didn't like to see the green and red candles, but no reason. I just think it looks nicer. We got 30-minute close coming up here, guys, in 16 seconds. 30-minute here on gold. Still closing pretty bullish. Still holding massive support, closing bullish. Yeah, I just like the way that it looks. I think it looks nice. I actually used to have a white background with all black candlesticks back in the day. Back in the OG days, that's how I used to have my charts. I have it like this. And I had my my candles like this, and I just used to trade like this. This is not really worth the effort, but we're here now. So I used to trade like that back in the day. Just keep it super neutral, but yeah, I just like the way the blue and white looks. No, maybe it's some sort of secret reason. I don't know. See GC 1 hour morning star forming. Do you enter a buy at the beginning of the 15? Yeah, that's why we got long here on gold. We got long here on gold, based off that hourly morning star play. Actually, my charts are still off here. There we go. So yeah, but that's why we took the long here on gold. Is literally based off that hourly morning star. Price needing to come up for a bit of a liquidity grab in some previous highs. I'm out less hands, good man. The secret source, yeah, the secret source. Yeah, that's the reason we took these longs here. I didn't buy this one up, we bought this one. And it was, yeah, based off the hourly coming down. You know, we spoke about here that price very likely needs to come down and tag these lows here when we were trading up here. So price came down, tagged lows, closed bullish, and you feel this nice little range here. Then now you're stuck in the middle. So 30-minute close here on NQ, guys, still pretty bearish. Look at this, NQ just wicked out highs, closed bearish, so no longs on NQ. You could even continue selling off, to be honest. I'm not going to sell NQ. But you just wicked out the highs, closed bearish. Previous hourly was also bearish, so you could easily continue pushing low. Whereas gold, we got a little bit of time here on gold. We got time. Yeah, we'll be back on fast markets today as well, guys. So we'll be trading New York. If you guys are around, be sure to tune in to TopstepTV today. Continue to trade gold. Lettuce hands. Got the lettuce hands. Now, it makes sense, to be honest. You know, if you had actually broken these highs and closed above, then you could hold. But the fact that you wicked these highs and failed to close above, yeah, you'd probably want to be closing that trade. Yeah, in my session today, yeah. NY session today. And from here, you know, kind of just have to see what gold's going to do. You know, if this 30-minute close is bearish, then this hourly could still be closing within this range. Which, that's when you kind of want to be careful, because you got resistance here, you kind of got support here. So if this 30-minute closes below, then you get stuck in here, then you want to wait for more of an hourly breakout before you consider any more trades. That's why we've played this range very well. We've played it because we grabbed the lows, held support, played it right back up into the highs. So from the lows up into the highs, it's about 120 tick range. So we took advantage of this this hourly pretty perfectly. Is it hard to make the switch from futures over to futures from Forex? No, there's no real difference, to be honest. Just picking up a little bit of terminology, looking at contracts, you know, GC instead of XAUUSD. But no, it's not hard at all. It's very easy. And when you do make the change, yeah, you'll wish you did it sooner. Yeah, you'll wish you did it sooner. But no, it's a very easy process. Very easy process. Just get used to the platforms. You know, the platforms will feel a little bit different, but they will feel much better. Much better. I've done a few YouTube videos on my channel as well. Probably quite a while ago, but yeah, you can there's nothing right now, Matthew. There's nothing. If I had something, I would share it. There's nothing. Like I say, that hourly's closed in the range. There's nothing. You're just waiting for an hourly closure. If you don't see anything on the hourly, well then there's the reason to walk away for the next hourly close. Like look at this hourly. There's nothing to say what could happen for the rest of the day. We've played this range beautifully. 75 ticks that's your day done. And from what happens after here, you literally just wait for hourly candle closures. Super simple. Close above or close below, and then you can look for a trade. You don't even really need to set alerts here in gold, to be honest. You're just waiting for a bit of an hourly breakout, and then you can take your trade. Do you mark lows per session? No, I don't mark. I personally don't trade session highs and lows. No, I don't. I look at these liquidity levels. These are my levels here on gold. These aren't based on session highs and session lows. It's just based on where I believe most people are getting trapped in the markets and how I can take advantage of it. Not to say you can't, but yeah, personally, I don't look at session highs and lows. It's not something I use. Does it matter if the currency didn't grab the lows? No, it doesn't really matter too much. You still needed to come up and grab these highs anyway. Like I said, you could easily come up, tag these highs, and then maybe come down with the lows. So you still want to take advantage of this move. It's not that it doesn't matter. You just want to be aware that these lows haven't been grabbed. So maybe that's more of a reason to actually take profit at these highs as opposed to holding it for too long. But just because even these lows haven't been grabbed, you know, you can still pull back and then grab the lows later on. The main reason to take this trade is the fact that the hourly did grab some lows. You know, you might have not grabbed as many lows as you might have liked to have seen, but you still wicked out previous lows here at 6 a.m. So you still tagged lows and held support, so you still want to take the longs. Otherwise, if you talk yourself out of it because it didn't grab enough lows that you may have wanted to have seen, then you're probably overanalyzing a little bit. If you've grabbed lows, you hold support, cool, take it. You know, play it up into size. If it grabs the lows again, then breaks out, then cool, maybe you can give it a second chance. Yeah, you should. Yeah, if you're looking for a next trade straight away, yeah, then you're probably overtrading. You're overthinking it too much. You should be taking 1 to 2 good trades a day max. Like this could be your one trade for the day, regardless of how much dollar you made. If this was a good trade and this followed all the rules, well, there's your one trade for the day. The amount of dollars you made from the trade shouldn't decide if you continue trading or not. You almost have to ask yourself, was this a good trade? Yes, cool. I'm done for the day. Most people overtrade because they're too focused on the P&L that they made. They didn't make enough P&L, so they want to keep trading to make more. But it's like that's unfortunately not how trading works. If you had a good trade, cool, job done. Liquidity levels have been hit on both sides, so what is there to target next? How do you make the green and red box? Yeah, it's just here on the side. Here on the left hand side, you can see here forecasting and measuring tools. It's just a long and short position. It's just a representation of the trade that we took. Just to show you guys what we took. But it's to measure your risk to reward if you want to use it. Exactly. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed. I mean, we all kind of have, you know, it's normal to, like I said to you guys, it's normal to feel these emotions in the markets. Like it's okay to feel greed. It's okay to feel FOMO. But what you do with that information is the most important part. You know, it's okay to maybe see a big move on gold and potentially not get it and have that desire to want to jump in straight away. You know, it's okay to feel these emotions, but what's more important is what you do with that information. How you react to that information is very important. It's not about, like I said to you guys, it's not about being, you know, an emotionless robot who doesn't feel anything in trading. It's about recognizing the emotions and not reacting off them. Like I jumped on yesterday. By the time I jumped on yesterday, gold had the 1,000 tick push that I probably gave like 4 attempts to last week. And I absolutely had FOMO yesterday. So when I have FOMO yesterday and I jump on the charts for London, I just say, cool, I'm just not going to trade today. Because I know there's nothing good is going to come from me trading after a 1,000 tick move. That was my whole entire plan. It just happened outside of my hours. So like this move yesterday, you know, I didn't get this up, but this is the whole move that I called last week perfectly. But it came at Sunday open in the Asian session when I'm asleep. So it's just one of the things that I can't control. So I just have to accept it and walk away. So, you know, I still feel certain emotions in trading. I just react off it very differently. If I feel FOMO or I feel the urge to want to jump in another trade straight away, you come up here, you click this absolutely life-saving button here on TopstepX and you lock yourself out for an hour or you lock yourself out all day if you really want to. You know, you have to be taking advantage of these tools here. I didn't short. There's no target speed short, and you came down, tagged lows, came up, tagged highs. I'm not shorting gold. Gold. Look at yesterday's close. How did yesterday close on gold? Did it close bullish or did it close bearish? Why would we sell gold? Gold yesterday pushed with a 1,450 tick bullish candle. Again, this is another reason to not sell this range. Gold closing with a 1,450 tick bullish candle. When I jump on the chart today, shorts aren't even a question. Shorts don't even cross my mind. There's no reason to sell gold. That would be massively fighting the markets. If I'm going to be wrong in the markets, I want to be wrong following the markets. Like if I try and short gold and gold continues pushing up, I go back and look at my daily time frame and go, what on earth was I trying to do? Yesterday he closed with a 1,450 tick bullish candle, which is insane. So if I'm, like I say, going to be wrong, I want to be wrong following that. Because if I try and short gold after that big of a push yesterday and I get stopped out and gold keeps hitting new highs, I'm going to look back and I'm going to go, that was a really poor trade. What was I trying to do? I was trying to fight the markets instead of following them. So for me, I'm not even considering any shorts on gold. That's amazing, Brad. That's amazing. That is honestly what I love to hear more than certain profit amounts. You guys on YouTube just had Brad here in Zoom say, I drew up the morning trade yesterday whilst I was at work on my phone, but I couldn't take it being at the job. Looked at it and it went up and I missed everything, but then had 0 trades yesterday. I grown in that regard. Yes, that's absolutely amazing, Brad. So you've recognized that you could, you called a great move, which is fantastic, but you recognize that you just weren't able to be on the charts. You weren't able to catch it. Totally fine. You accept it and you wait and you come back another day. Now that is good professional trading right there. So good job, Brad. That's amazing, man. Amazing. That's about listening and reacting to the emotions. It's fantastic. How do you deal with trades that are consolidating? I won't watch it, or I will just look to exit the trade. It depends on how much it's ranging and why it's ranging. Like right now on gold, if I was in a trade here, I would look at this high time frame and I would say, okay, cool, it's probably a good reason just to exit the trade. You tag the highs, you tag the lows, you're in the middle of a range. At this point, if you're in a trade here on gold, it's almost like you're trading from a bit of hope. You're hoping something breaks out. So it depends on if the range invalidates the trade right now. Like if I was in a long trade here on gold and it was ranging like this, well, the trade would be invalid for me because you've tagged the highs, so I'd probably be looking to exit. But if it's just ranging, but it's, maybe the trade's still valid, yeah, sometimes I'll just walk away, or I'll, I'll zoom out and watch a high time frame candle closure. Which happens, it's not every time you get in like today, it just rips and has great volume, like 70 plus ticks in 10 minutes. Sometimes, you get into a trade, it will go sideways for a little bit, but as long as it's not invalid, you just kind of have to, like the way you do top-down analysis, I start to zoom out. If I'm in a position that's ranging, I'll zoom out and focus on some higher time frame closures. Look at this on gold, you guys. This is why we're not trading right now. We played this range beautifully. Look at this. Look at that 30-minute. Hourly. Let's see here. Oh, nice, Cade. Nice. Great trade, man. Great trade. 246 ticks. Nice. Yeah, amazing. Nah, that's a great trade, man. Great trade. Great trade. 3:45 a.m. late night grind. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Happy just following this bird. Yeah, nice. Absolutely. As I say, following the reasons behind why we entered here, why we exited half here, why we're not doing anything here is what is more important than trying to chase a certain dollar amount right now. You guys have to understand that's extremely valuable to know why I bought here, why I exited here, and why I'm not taking new trades in here. It's very important. Very important. It had that 15 close there on gold. Wicking the lows, holding support. I remember, look at the hourly. Hourly still kind of wicking the highs and lows. Sometimes I think I see a trade and get in and it reverses. So I go the other way and it reverses again. How do I stop that? Well, stop jumping in so many trades too quick. If you see a trade, you jump in, it reverses, and then you jump in the opposite side and it reverses again, then you're not trading a plan. That just sounds like you're just taking complete random trades. random trades equals random results. It seems like a lot of you guys who are asking these questions, they're great questions, but remember guys, you have to make sure you have a trading plan. If you don't have a trading plan, then, you know, you can't expect to be making good, consistent gains. And a trading plan, a good trading plan, wouldn't tell you to sometimes jump in a trade and when it reverses, take the complete opposite way, and then you get stopped out. So I would do some back testing and refine your trading plan before you start jumping into live markets. Build your plan as much as you can. For me, there's no question like, oh, should I take this trade? This might be a good trade. It's like, well, have my rules been met? Has my trading plan been met here? Yes, we grabbed lows, we held support, we have clear targets, cool. That's my plan, take my trade. If I got stopped out on this trade, would I all of a sudden start taking the opposite side? I wouldn't, because, you know, taking the opposite side probably means you're more so just trying to make back your loss. So build yourself a good set of trading rules. Know what you're doing when you come into every single session. Know your trading plan, like the absolute ins and outs. Like I've been trading gold for 7 years. I know my trading plan like the back of my hand. I know what I should be doing. So sometimes you might deviate from your plan. That's normal. But if you feel like most of the time, you know, you're jumping in a trade, you get stopped out and you start doing the opposite thing, that's probably a little bit of an emotional trading, and build yourself trading rules so you can eliminate that as much as you can. There shouldn't be any guesswork in trading. Like, it's not a question of, should I take this trade? Should I reverse this trade? It's like, is there reasons as to why I should do that? And if the answer is no, then that's probably a good reason to not do that. How do you use the risk reward tool to calculate how many micros I can trade based on 1% risk? I just do my stops just based on the tick amount. Like I'll look at this and I'll go, okay, cool, that's 50 ticks. Cool, let's say it's 50 ticks. Then I'll kind of do my size from there. If I trade 1 mini, I'm going to be risking $500. If I don't want to risk that much, then I'll work it from maybe 1 micro $50, and so on. So you can just measure it from the tick amount. You can also, if you're here on Topstep, you can actually set up the brackets here as well. So you could set a certain dollar risk amount so your stop is set to that, so then you can kind of drag and drop it. So it's automatically set once you actually take the trade. So good man. You've definitely answered it before. In 7 years, when did you stop being, I'll say, stupid on the markets and know you were a professional? It's not that I ever knew I was a professional. It's more so that I just kind of stopped doing the things that I know I shouldn't have been doing and started to act more like a professional. But, you know, I'm not perfect. You know, I still get times in the markets where I will do something completely outside of my plan. You know, it's more so just about eliminating their mistakes as much as you can. So it's not about being perfect. Like, I didn't get to a level where it's like, you know what, I'm the perfect trader, but it's just trying to understand what triggers certain mistakes and how to stop them as much as possible. That's all you're really trying to do here. I'm not trying to, there's never really a point where I was like, hey, cool, now I'm a professional trader. It's more so, I understand what you're saying, but it's more so like, I just wanted to recognize what I was doing wrong and just try and make their mistakes less. You know, you're still going to make mistakes in trading. Like, I still do trades where I'm like, man, what was I trying to do there? Or what did I miss there? Or I have a bit of FOMO, but it's trying to do it as little as you can. But it took me like at least 2 years, to be honest, man. It took me at least 2 years of just doing the same stupid, bad decisions that I know I shouldn't have been doing. Took my first payout because of your advice. Much appreciated. Absolutely fantastic, man. On a Tuesday morning, that's fantastic. That's what we absolutely love to hear. So good job, man. That's fantastic work. First payout's absolutely amazing. That's not my advice. That's you implementing my advice. So good job, man. That's all you. Amazing work. Amazing work. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I'll see you next time. And whilst we're waiting for gold to shape up here, it's always good you guys ask these questions because they're very, very, very important questions. Doesn't matter how time they've been asked. I remember, guys, there's no stupid or wrong question here. They're all very, very, very important questions. There was a potential 15-minute morning star shaping up here, which I was watching here. The only reason I'm not jumping in this morning star is because I didn't like the way the hourly was looking. I'd rather wait for the hourly to close above or below and then potentially look to take the next trade. So you guys on YouTube, I will wrap up there. We've had a great trade here this morning. Not the biggest in terms of dollar amount. I did only take it as small size because these ranges, I should have taken a bigger size. These ranges weren't as big as I thought today, but we still got about 70 ticks in 15 minutes, which is fantastic. So remember, guys, I'll be live for fast markets today as well. So if you are around, be sure to tune into TopstepTV and we'll look to trade gold for the New York session. I will absolutely see you guys there. Great session today, though. Great trade. Great questions as well. Remember, replay this, understand why I waited, why I bought where I did, and why I exited where I did. And I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. If not, I'll see you guys in the New York session. Trade safe, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.